Hello and welcome to Fiona's Creative Canvas. I'm Fiona and today I'm going to be doing another textured piece, but I have something specific in mind today. I'm going to be using the modeling paste to do my texture, and I want to do a cityscape this time. Last time I did a cityscape it kind of wasn't planned, but this time I'm planning to do a cityscape. Okay, let me stop you there. I'm going to spare you the drawn out start to this video because as usual, when I have something in my head, it doesn't quite go to plan. I'm still learning how I work as an artist. Not really sure the best way to go about this. And when I have a plan, it just never turns out that way. But let me talk you through what happened. So I started this piece marking a horizon line for my city and applying a texture to create some buildings. So horizon line with some buildings. Once that dried, I covered my canvas in lamp black, a Montmartre paint, but I mixed it with some pouring medium and some water. It spread very easily and I ended up needing to take some of it off because I just put too much on. So I used a paper towel and took some of that off. Then I tried putting on some silver and a bit of blue paint, and these just blended straight in with the black paint, so that wasn't really working. So I let that dry a bit until it was a little bit tacky, but was dry around the edges, and I started adding some colours. This worked better. I was going for a very blended background, with silver as my predominant colour and some primary colours to make it kind of a bit of pop of colour, I guess you would say. I introduced some white and tried blending that in. Okay, I think this is going to require quite a few layers, having put that black on the base, but it is getting a bit lighter. That still wasn't quite working, so I decided to let the piece dry overnight and then try it again. This time I started to get some vibrancy in the colours, and you could see them a lot better sitting on the surface of the black. So I started playing around with it, then added some stripes using the colours. I ended up painting over that because I wasn't too keen on it, and gave it a more blended grey, silver and white background. I was much happier with that. So then I just added some colours more to the centre. I decided to take out some of the red by adding blue. This is not really the way I intended this at all. And then white over the top. Then I was ready to create my city by adding a blend of colours using a palette knife. I used the brush to blend the same colours below the horizon for a reflection. something missing, something big. I continued to work it but felt something was missing, so I tried to create more in the water reflection by using a brush to add like a shimmer. Then I used my fork to create some lights in the buildings. I'm thinking about doing some textures with this maybe, so just like a stamp, so a bit of blue on there. Okay, so I've contemplated this one for a couple of days. I'm not happy with it. Something's just not quite right. I don't know whether this ended up being a lot bigger than I wanted it to be. The balance, I don't know if I like the water. Anyway, I've been on to YouTube and tried to find some inspiration, and I came across this channel, which I will put down here. And thought I would give some palette knife, maybe even use some of these scrapers to put lots of big blocks of colour down. But I thought I would start off with a mainly blue palette. I want to keep my silvers in the corner, and I might add some of these bright colours in later, so they still may come into the mix. So I might start off with just adding some big blocks of colour here. So let's get some of this dark blue down, and I'm just going to scrape that. Alright, so it's not going as far as I thought. Maybe I need to thin it down a bit. Okay, let's just add some pouring medium and a bit of water, just to thin it down a little bit, just to make it a little thinner. Oh, that's a lot thinner. Okay. Nice. Not sure about how thick that is there. We might just go all the way to the top. Okay. I think this is going in the right direction. I'm going to add some blue down. This is King's Blue. Let's add a bit of that on. I like having a little bit of that colour underneath. Let's try some of this Chilling Turquoise. I've also got some white. I'm not ready to add the white yet. I'm going to get some more blocks. Ooh, I'm going to get some more blocks down, and then I'm going to come in with some smaller palette knives. Kind of like that little bit in there, but I don't want this bit here. There is something else I wanted to try a little bit of blending with. This is a dry wet wipe. I just wanted to try a little bit of blending just to soften some of those colours into my background. I do like my iridescent white, so I'm going to need to bring that in as well, I think. I might wet this a little bit, just a drop of water. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of white now. Let's see what happens here. I do want to try a smaller palette knife, so let's get that out now. And get a little bit of extra texture happening through. Making it a little busier in the center. Definitely going to need to bring some of this orange in, I think. Right, the orange, blue definitely goes with orange. I am a little concerned that my paint is quite wet, and I might add a little of the yellow. Do I want any of the red? I don't know. Maybe. I'm only putting a very small amount on my palette knife. Yep. I like this so much better than what I had. I think this is one of these cases where I actually need a thingo. What's it called? Easel. Because every time I put it up, it doesn't look quite right. I'm trying to get a balance. Okay, so I've had this up on my wall for a few days and there's just a few little tweaks I want to make. So I've grabbed out some colours. I've got the iridescent white, the chilling turquoise, the King's blue and the Prussian phthalo blue. So I'm just going to add it basically to this area down here. I love the way the iridescent white's been shining through, so I think I might want to put a little bit of that down underneath some bits. I'm going to fade this out. So to do that, I'm going to use this and just sort of blend it. So I'm going to need a little bit of water. I haven't quite decided which colour to go with. Maybe a little bit of the turquoise. There we go. Yeah, so having this up on the wall, it really made me want an easel. I think for standing back and looking at the overall piece, I think it's worth getting an easel. So I've got that on my birthday wish list. I'm just going to stand it up, have a little look. Almost done. Okay, there's some things about this that I really like, and as you know, this is the abstract stuff is new to me. How many have I done now? About 4 or 5 different types of textured abstracts. Yeah, I will bring it in for the dry result. Okay, here it is all finished, and this one took me for quite a ride. I'll bring you in a bit closer. Don't know if you can see the shine on this iridescent white. It's really pretty, and a little bit of that texture. This stands out quite a bit, and then there's a little bit of texture underneath, but obviously the paint itself gives a lot of texture. Nice shimmer here for the iridescent white, just little pops of it in small places. Yeah, and here as well. And that little bit of colour, I think, on the blue backdrop just really sets it off. It's like I destroyed the city and yeah, it exploded. I hope nobody's too disappointed that I did that. But yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I shall see you all in the next one. Bye.